Okay, so quick question. Have you ever taken a personality test? Like the big ones? Myers Briggs, Enneagram? Yeah, me too. But here's the thing. Do they actually tell us anything useful? Or are we just diving down the rabbit hole of human curiosity, desperately hoping that a 10-minute quiz can explain the complex beings we are? There's something weirdly satisfying about taking a personality test, right? You get your results and bam, you've got a label. Oh, I'm an INFJ. I knew I was special. Or maybe I'm a 7 on the Enneagram, super spontaneous. And it's like, yes, the quiz understands me. But then comes that moment, maybe a week or a month later, where you're like, wait, do I actually feel like that person? Or is this just the test gaslighting me? That's where it gets messy. Sure, tests give us this nice little identity package. But does it really describe you? Or just what you wish you were? Wink. So here's the deal. Personality tests are based on theories, and theories are cool, but they're not exactly crystal balls. They give us a snapshot, a rough sketch of who we are, but like a Snapchat filter version, not the raw, messy you. Chapter Personality Test Showdown. Welcome to Personality Test Showdown, the game where we pit personality tests against each other to find out which one, if any, tells us something useful. Let's meet our contestants. In one corner, we have the heavyweight champion, the Myers Briggs type indicator. MBTI has been around forever, and everyone loves to know if they're an INTJ or an ENFP. But how scientific is it really? In the other corner, we have the challenger, the Enneagram. This one's all about 9 different types and promises deep self-awareness. But wait, is it a test or a spiritual journey? Who knows? And finally, representing the internet meme world, the BuzzFeed quiz. Because we all want to know what kind of dessert best represents our soul. Spoiler, I'm a creme brulee. Fancy, but unpredictable. Let's be real. The Myers Briggs, not exactly based on science, it was actually created by a mom-daughter duo with no formal psych training. I know, shocking. Sure, it's fun, but most psychologists are like, we wouldn't exactly put our career on it. The Enneagram? This one's got spiritual vibes for days, but its roots are more mystical than measurable. It's a vibe, not hard science. BuzzFeed quizzes, they're fun, but I mean, let's not pretend they're anything more than a time killer. So, what's the point then? Okay, so personality tests aren't perfect, big whoop, but that doesn't mean they're totally useless. They're more like a starting point, a jumping-off platform for self-reflection. Here's the thing. When you take a personality test, it can spark some real introspection. You're like, oh wait, I do tend to avoid conflict, and I do get stressed when things are unpredictable. But that's just a snapshot, a small part of the big picture. Think of personality tests like puzzle pieces. They give you a chunk of the bigger you, but not the whole thing. You are way more complex than a 4-letter combo or a number on a wheel. You're constantly evolving, and no test can fully capture that magic. But you know what can help you evolve? Subscribe to PsycKeys. Okay, shameless plug, but seriously, if you're enjoying this breakdown of all things personality, why not hit that subscribe button? I promise more quirky takes on life are coming your way. Oh, and maybe hit the notification bell, because let's face it, who doesn't love a good personality quiz deep dive? Now, let's get academic for a second. What do actual psychologists think of these tests? They're fun, but if you really want to understand personality, you need something like the Big 5 personality traits. Now that's a test backed by decades of research. It looks at 5 key areas: openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. These traits are measurable, and they don't try to shove you into a neat little box. More like a very detailed pie chart of your emotional life. So, if you're serious about understanding yourself, maybe give the Big 5 a try. You'll get results that are more grounded in science, less, BuzzFeed-y. The Big 5 digs deeper than just, are you an introvert or an extrovert? It looks at degrees of behavior. Are you super open to new experiences or a little more cautious? Are you organized to the point of having color-coded socks? Or do you have that chaotic creative energy that can turn a room into a disaster zone in 10 minutes? It's more fluid, more nuanced. Basically, the Big 5 says, hey, You're a layered human being instead of throwing you into a predefined personality bucket. Let's break them down. First up, openness to experience. This one's for the adventurers, the dreamers, the let's backpack through the Amazon types. Super high openness means you're curious, creative, and always looking for the next big idea. Low openness, you like routine, predictability, and find joy in the simple things. There's no right or wrong, it's just how you process the world. Then we've got conscientiousness. High conscientious folks are the organized ones who always remember to bring snacks to the party. Low conscientiousness, you're more of a wing it kind of person. Deadlines? Meh, you'll get to them eventually. Extroversion is probably the easiest one to guess. High extroversion means you thrive around people, and parties give you life. Low extroversion? Hello, introverts. You're at your happiest when you're curled up with a book or binge-watching Netflix. Now, agreeableness. This is the people-pleaser trait. High agreeableness means you're empathetic, warm, and generally avoid conflict like it's your job. Low agreeableness? You might be a bit more direct and unafraid to speak your mind. Last but not least, neuroticism. High neuroticism means you're prone to stress, anxiety, and overthinking. Low neuroticism? You're the Zen master, cool as a cucumber no matter what life throws your way. And guess what? You're probably a mix of all these traits. The Big Five doesn't slap a label on you. Instead, it's like a personality buffet. You get a little bit of everything. You're not stuck being just an introvert or just conscientious. You can be a chill introvert who's also super open to new experiences. Or maybe you're a high-energy extrovert who's also a bit of a stress ball. The Big Five gets that. It's flexible like that. Okay, now let's talk about the dark side of personality tests. Because oh yeah, there's a downside. First off, some people get a little too attached to their results. You know that person who takes the Myers Briggs and suddenly everything is, well, that's because I'm an INTJ. It's like, okay, Susan, but maybe you're also just being difficult today. Personality tests can put you in a box. You start to identify too much with your type, and suddenly you're using it as an excuse for everything. Oh, I can't go to that party. I'm an introvert. Or I can't handle that task because I'm just not a type A. It becomes a crutch, and that's dangerous. Remember, you're more than a test result. Tests don't define you, you define you. Here's another important thing. Your personality isn't just about you. It's influenced by everything around you, your culture, your upbringing, your environment. You might be super introverted in one context, but more outgoing in another. You might be agreeable at work, but a total rebel when it comes to your personal life. Personality is flexible. It can change depending on what's happening around you. Think of it like a plant. You're rooted in certain traits, but the way you grow, that depends on the sunlight, the water, the care you get from the world. At the end of the day, personality tests are kind of like pizza. There's no right one, but man, they sure are fun. They can give us insights, help us reflect, and maybe even spark some deep convos with friends. But are they definitive answers to who you are? Not really. You're more than a test result. You're a beautifully complicated human. So go ahead, take that quiz, but don't forget to trust your gut. You already know yourself better than any test ever will. And hey, if this whole personality deep dive gave you something to think about, let's chat about it in the comments.